guys, Tom here and welcome to a new video, and today I'm doing my WWE Extreme Rules 2014 predictions. Can we get 200 likes on this video? These are all my predictions for all 8 of the matches on the Extreme Rules 2014 match card. And Extreme Rules is on May 4th, 2014 at the Izod Center in East Rutherford, New Jersey. In this video, I'm going to predict every single match, who I think is going to win and why. Get down there in the comment section after liking this video. Can we get 200 likes? Once you've done that, once you've liked the video, get down in the comment section and comment who you think is going to win every single match. What do you think? Who's going to win? Who's going to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the Shield and Evolution? Who is going to win that match? Everything like that. Predict all 8 matches in the comment section as well. And remember, do like the video. It'd be great if I could get 200 likes on this video. And this is in fact the 6th WWE Extreme Rules pay-per-view in a row. It's an annual thing, and this is the 6th one WWE has presented, and the match card is absolutely stacked. Now, if you're wondering why I'm doing a prediction video all in one video, I normally do a prediction video. I usually predict every single match in separate videos. So I'll do 8 videos for all of the 8 matches, but currently I'm busy revising for exams. I have 9 exams in the space of around a month. This starts in 9 days, I believe it is, so I really don't have time to do 8 separate videos. So I've decided to do it in one video today, in this video. And for WrestleMania 30, I never got the chance to do all my prediction videos. I think I managed about 2 prediction videos because I got a sore throat after I'd recorded them first 2 videos, and I really couldn't manage to hack doing the other match predictions. I think I had to do 8 other videos for that, and my throat was hurting, and I never got the chance to record them prediction videos. So currently, for the last 2 pay-per-views, including this one, Extreme Rules and WrestleMania, I am slacking on my prediction videos. But at least I'm doing all of them in this video for Extreme Rules. I kind of lost it a bit at WrestleMania with my sore throat, but at least you're going to get my opinion on all the matches for Extreme Rules 2014. So the first match is, let me get to it, it is, where are we? The website is a bit confusing on WWE.com, but here we are. Where are we? I can't even find it. It is, in fact, El Torito versus Hornswoggle. Now, it is actually advertised as a WLC match, which really doesn't make sense. We haven't been told any information whatsoever what a WLC match is, but the story behind this is that it's gonna get, it's the fact that they're 2 small guys is what's really bringing the excitement to this match. Now, we've already seen these guys go head to head in one match already on a Friday Night SmackDown, and they did have a bit of a standoff, or a bit of a match in it was kind of a 3-on-3 match between 3MB and Los Matadores. So they're doing it again at Extreme Rules 2014 on the pre-show. 2 small guys. Hornswoggle has now joined 3MB. Now, he does actually fit the role. He's got the tattoos. He does look like a badass with his mustache. I'm not gonna lie, he does fit the role of 3MB, but it does seem like a bit of a disappointment that you've got Sheamus joining the pre-show panel when he could have easily had a match against maybe a Sandow, a Ziggler, somebody like that on the pre-show, but instead they've gone with El Torito and Hornswoggle, which has only really been put on the pre-show to really get a cheap pop, and it's really not got anything there. It's not going to have any good wrestling. It's really just to have a cheap pop and slight excitement, but there's not really anything there. It's not going to be it's going to be entertaining, but it's not going to have any good wrestling. You could have easily had a Sheamus match on there, something which people actually care about. We're not really going to care at all about this. The fact that it's a WLC match, which we have no idea what that actually means, does bring some slight excitement to it, some unpredictability that I'm going to tune in and want to find out what this WLC match is. But really, at the end of the day, I really don't care about this match whatsoever. It's one of the matches on the cards, one of the few matches I really don't care about whatsoever. But the fact that it's a WLC match does bring some excitement because I don't know what that means. It could be anything. They're two small guys, no real talent whatsoever. It's not really going to be a wrestling match. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be an entertaining match, but it's not going to be a wrestling match. And that's a huge disappointment. For the pre-show, you want to sell the pay-per-view. Yes, a lot of people will be watching it on the WWE Network, but the pre-show wants to put on a good wrestling match. You want to advertise the pay-per-view to those people who are interested in buying the pay-per-view. And if it's not a good wrestling match, it's not going to advertise the show. Now, this just springs to mind. It's going to be very, very PG-ish, very cringy, and I'm really not too excited or bothered about this match. But at the end of the day, El Torito is going to pick up the win. The fact that Hornswoggle has joined 3MB did make me wonder, maybe Hornswoggle's going to steal the win here. The fact that he's joined 3MB, he wants to make an impact in 3MB, he wants to show 3MB that he's going to do something with them. He's actually going to make an impact whilst being in 3MB. The fact that he's now swapped character, he's picked up a new gimmick, you want him to make an impact. You want to remember what Hornswoggle did with 3MB. So to start that off, it would be good for him to get a win at a pay-per-view at Extreme Rules 2014. But the babyface, El Torito, will win here. He's the babyface, he's the face, it's on the pre-show. He's going to get that cheap pop and start the fans cheering, ready for the night. So in the first match on the pre-show, El Torito should, and I'm predicting, will pick up the win at Extreme Rules on the pre-show, because the crowd will be cheering for El Torito. So in the first match on the pre-show, if the good guy wins, the babyface wins, the crowd are cheering, they're off to a good start, they're excited about the rest of the show. If Hornswoggle won, they wouldn't be too satisfied with the result of the first match. The crowd would be slightly dead for the start of the pay-per-view, and it really wouldn't be a good way to start off the show. If the babyface wins, fans at home are more likely to buy the pay-per-view because their favourite won the first match. I say this every pre-show, so for me, all go towards El Torito winning this match. It'd be a great, exciting way to start the show. Fans would be happy. A good way to start the pay-per-view would be for El Torito to win. And of course, he's already had a win over Hornswoggle on a Friday Night SmackDown, so it wouldn't really make sense for Hornswoggle to win in this match. And really, do you really want to see them carry on this feud? If Hornswoggle was going to win here, it suggests that we'd have a third match between El Torito and Hornswoggle, maybe on a Raw or SmackDown. But do we really want to sit for another match between El Torito and Hornswoggle? If El Torito wins here, then that pretty much closes the feud off, and El Torito is satisfied with this feud against Hornswoggle. If Hornswoggle wins here, it opens the door to a rematch. We don't really want to see that. So El Torito is got to win this match. The babyfaces usually win on the pre-show, and that's what's probably likely going to happen here. So it's kind of, I'm not really particularly sure what's going to be the opening match for the actual show. It could either be Big E against Wade Barrett for the IC Championship, or it could be possibly Rob Van Dam, Cesaro, and Swagger in the triple threat match. But for me, I'd probably pick Big E versus Wade Barrett. You want a big match, a big well-built match to start off a pay-per-view, a feud that people are interested in. The crowd are going to be into this match, so I'd probably pick Big E and Wade Barrett to kick off the Extreme Rules 2014 pay-per-view match. And this match is actually rather exciting because it's had a lot of build towards it, because you had a number one contenders Intercontinental Championship tournament, which went for a very long way. It went for a couple, I think it went for, it wasn't the Raw after WrestleMania, it was the Raw after WrestleMania. So it went for 3 weeks, this tournament, which was very exciting. You could pick your favorite and see if he was going to win. There was a lot of matches there. I mean, you had Bad News Barrett against Sheamus, and then Barrett against Ziggler, and then you had Barrett against Rob Van Dam. 3 great matches for Wade Barrett. You also had some star matches with I can't remember, but there was some spectacular matches in this number one contenders Contenders Intercontinental Championship tournament. You had some great matches. There was a few guys which you thought could win. You had Sheamus, you had Bad News Barrett, you had Ziggler, you had a lot of guys which would benefit from having this match at Extreme Rules, and they picked Bad News Barrett. In his 3 matches leading up to this match, he's got really over. A lot of people have been really interested in this Bad News Barrett gimmick. He debuted on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 30, and then the Raw after the tournament started, and Bad News Barrett really started to pick up there. A lot of people have really bought into this gimmick. I thought maybe Cesaro might win this tournament, but Bad News Barrett was the one to win this tournament, and he's going to face Big E tomorrow night at Extreme Rules 2014. Very exciting. Now, to be fair, the fact that Bad News Barrett's already won 4 matches since debuting his Bad News Barrett gimmick may suggest that Big E could pick up the win. I mean, you could say that if Bad News Barrett loses, it won't lose a lot of momentum as much, because he's already going into this match with a hell of a lot of momentum already. He's going into this match with 4 wins already. So if he loses, it won't be that bad, because he's done well for himself already to get into this spot already. He's done it well for himself to get into this match already. So for him to lose wouldn't be a big shame for Bad News Barrett. It wouldn't lose a lot of momentum for Bad News Barrett. But for me, Big E really hasn't done a lot in the last few weeks. This tournament has kind of made him, the champion, slip down the card a little bit. He really hasn't been that significant since picking up that title all those months ago. And for me, I think the Intercontinental Championship should really change hands at Extreme Rules 2014. Sadly, this guy's time will come. Big E's time will come, but really, the Intercontinental Championship really hasn't meant a lot for the last few years. So to put it on Big E was a bit of a strange one. I mean, it was some momentum to give to him, but he's kind of died with it. And I think it's really time that it change hands before Big E himself dies as well. The title seems like it's died a little bit, and that's kind of made Big E die slightly as well. But for me, if you change the title, give it to Bad News Barrett, maybe Bad News Barrett can do something with it and bring some excitement to that title. The title really hasn't done anything for the last few months, and the fact that they've had a tournament kind of means that they want to bring back some prestige to that championship, and it would be a bit of a shame for them to waste that 3-week championship to decide a new #1 contender, for that new #1 contender to go into the match and lose. Surely if they did that tournament, that they want to bring some excitement back to the championship. And if that 3-week tournament is now complete and Bad News Barrett won, and for him to go in that match and lose, it would all seem like a bit of a waste of time. You had some great matches in there. Why don't you top off that tournament, that Intercontinental Championship buzz, by giving the winner of that tournament the Intercontinental Championship? That would be fantastic for Bad News Barrett. He's been picking up a lot of fans in the last few weeks. Why can't he continue that momentum by picking up the championship at Extreme Rules 2014? For me, that would be one of the biggest highlights of the year for Bad News Barrett to only debut his new gimmick on the Raw after WrestleMania and then 4 weeks later pick up the Intercontinental Championship. That would be a tremendous moment for Bad News Barrett. For me, Big E Langston, I'm not a big fan of him. I don't think he's really doing anything at the moment, and especially the title is dying with him. If you swap it at Extreme Rules 2014, it'd give Bad News Barrett an opportunity to do something with the championship. It's not doing anything to Big E. He's really stuck with the championship, but he's not really doing anything with it. Give it to Bad News Barrett and see what he can do with it. Can you bring some excitement to that belt when you go towards the summer pay-per-views, including Money in the Bank, Payback and SummerSlam? Can you bring some new prestige to that belt with Bad News Barrett going into the summer? I'm excited for this match because I can see it go either way. But for me, if they retain the title to Big E, I'd be slightly disappointed because the tournament would seem pointless. And for me, Big E's not exciting whatsoever. He really hasn't done anything in the last few months. So for Bad News Barrett to have all this momentum and then lose to Big E, who really hasn't done anything whatsoever for a very, very long time, would be a huge disappointment and would be a huge surprise to a lot of people. I mean, Big E really hasn't even had a lot of matches in the last few weeks. So for him to pop out at Extreme Rules and retain it would just feel dead. It just wouldn't feel right for him just to retain. It just wouldn't feel exciting for him to retain his championship. Give it to Bad News Barrett. He's an exciting new character to get behind. Put that title on Bad News Barrett. So that's my prediction. Bad News Barrett to win that match. So really, the next match could go either way. It could be Xavier Woods and R-Truth against Rusev. Now, this is an easy prediction. This could possibly be the second match on the card. It really could be placed anywhere whatsoever. It could be the second to last match next to the main event. It really could be anywhere on the card. But for me, Rusev is definitely winning this match. Now, I do hope that they do make this at least 5-minute match. I mean, they've all been squash matches for Rusev so far. Rusev has won every single goddamn match he has been in so far, and they've just been boring. I mean, as soon as he gets that camel clutch locked in, they're tapping already before he's even put the strength into the camel clutch. It looks very stupid, but for me, please make this match at least 5 minutes long, because it's really just going to look lame as hell if you're going to have a 1-minute squash match on a pay-per-view. People pay good money to see good matches, and if you're going to have a 1-minute squash match, it's going to be very dissatisfying, and people are not going to be very pleased. It's going to make the crowd dead, and how can we get behind this Rusev guy if he's not really showing anything whatsoever? I mean, yes, you're putting him over as a monster heel, but can we really get entertained by a 1-minute, 2-minute squash match? I mean, in my opinion, he looks like a monster. He looks like a beast. But is this going to last very long? I mean, Extreme Rules. Yes, he only debuted a few weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. I'd be disappointed if at the next pay-per-view he doesn't have a proper pay-per-view match. Yes, it's good that they're actually putting him on the pay-per-view so early into his career, but giving him a squash match really isn't anything we can get behind whatsoever. So it's quite a big disappointment. And Xavier Woods and R-Truth, do people still really care about these guys? Are you really going to care that Rusev is going to squash these guys? Do people really cheer for Xavier Woods and R-Truth? Are they really top faces to be putting over Rusev? Are they? Are they really top talents that are going to be putting over Rusev? Not really. They're just people that they've picked. They've closed their eyes and picked 2 random talents to face Rusev. Are you going to be disappointed that Xavier Woods and R-Truth, the baby faces, are going to lose to R-Truth? Are you going to be annoyed at Rusev for defeating your favourites R-Truth and Xavier Woods? Not really, because people don't really care about R-Truth and Xavier Woods. So really, huge disappointment that this is the first pay-per-view match for Rusev. It's a squash match against these two. But really, no, nothing hard here. Rusev is picking up the victory and going to carry on his momentum, hopefully to better and bigger things at the next pay-per-view being Payback in Chicago. Now, the next match will probably be Swagger, Rob Van Dam, and Cesaro in a triple threat match. Quite an easy prediction to predict here, and it is going to be Cesaro, the new Paul Heyman guy who debuted as the new Paul Heyman guy at the Raw after WrestleMania 30. It's not a very hard prediction to make here, one of the easiest predictions on the card. So Swagger would benefit from a pay-per-view win, but he really isn't winning against the new Paul Heyman guy, Cesaro, who is going to be picking up a lot of victories in the next few months after being the new Paul Heyman guy. You're going to keep his momentum going with a win here at Extreme Rules. Don't be surprised if he goes all the way up until SummerSlam with a lot of wins. So, Swagger, he's not looking too good. He really hasn't looked very good since WrestleMania when he broke away from Cesaro. They looked a very good team. They were very over. They got a great crowd reaction. But ever since he broke away from Cesaro, he really hasn't done anything whatsoever. He's been getting into Cesaro's matches, disrupting things, and really been a huge nuisance. I think he's really playing off a very well heel character, but thinking about it, I don't even think he's had a match. Has he even picked up any wins? Has he even won anything? It doesn't really look like, to me, like this guy is going in there and winning the match. He looks like the least guy who's going to go in there and win the match. Rob Van Dam has returned on the Raw after WrestleMania, but he's already over with the crowd. He's already had a great career in the WWE, so really would a win here benefit him whatsoever. Going back to Swagger, would it really make sense for Swagger to win, considering he really hasn't done anything whatsoever in the last few weeks. The only thing he's really done is disrupt Cesaro's matches. Except for that, he really hasn't done anything whatsoever. He really hasn't had a match. He hasn't really had a win, I really can't remember. So would it really make sense for Cesaro to win, especially against a new Paul Heyman guy, Cesaro? So Cesaro is picking up the win here, which is great for Cesaro. He's going to be getting some much needed momentum in this match. Rob Van Dam is a really good guy to put him over. He's had a really long career in the WWE. A great guy to put over Cesaro. Also, Jack Swagger, a two-time world champion, to put over Cesaro. What's happening here is, guys, you might even see a double swing by Cesaro. I wouldn't be surprised, but for me, Cesaro is picking up the win here. His first pay-per-view match as a Paul Heyman guy. Rob Van Dam is really only brought back into the WWE to put over guys, and that's his job here, is to put over Cesaro. Swagger, he's only really been put in here due to the fact that Cesaro broke away from Swagger at WrestleMania 30. It comes to a shot that Rob Van Dam's even in this match, but it does add to that putting over power. Instead of having Swagger versus Cesaro, add Rob Van Dam in there, and Cesaro winning means he beats two guys instead of one. That's why Cesaro's winning here. Should be a great opportunity to put over Cesaro. The next match is Paige against Tamina. Easy prediction here is Paige. She only won the championship 4 weeks ago, so it would feel a bit strange to drop the championship after only 4 weeks. She's a brand new talent. Why would they make her win on the Raw after WrestleMania and then make her lose in her first title defense? It just would really feel strange because she's one of the next upcoming talents. She was the one that we were all waiting for her to debut. So for her to pick up the championship in her first match was tremendous. But for her to go into her first title defense and lose, she'd lose a lot of momentum. It would be very risky for WWE to give her her first pay-per-view loss in her first pay-per-view match. She's the next upcoming star. She's already the champion. She's a great character already. Why would they give her a loss? Why would they risk losing a great character who's already over? They just wouldn't do that. Paige is winning 100% in this match. The only reason why Tamina is in this match is because she won a #1 contenders match on Main Event. Do people even watch Main Event? It would have been AJ Lee against Tamina, but AJ Lee went away. And in that match, I would have said it would have been AJ Lee against Paige, sorry. And in that match, I would have said Paige was winning anyway. But for Tamina against Paige, it's even more in the favor of Paige. I thought if AJ Lee faced Paige, maybe AJ Lee could win the title back at Extreme Rules. But the fact that you've got Tamina in there, who really doesn't mean anything to anybody. She is quite a monster heel. She's really ruthless. She actually scares me. She's a very good heel. But really, do you see her defeating Paige? Tamina really hasn't done anything whatsoever since debuting with the Usos all those years ago. So is she really going to defeat Paige in her first pay-per-view match, her first title defense at Extreme Rules 2014? Not really. In an ideal world, if Tamina won, you could have a feud between Tamina and Paige to carry the Divas division until AJ Lee comes back. But I think it'd be way too risky for Paige to lose in her first title defense. Since she's a new star, they should keep her with the Divas Championship at least until AJ Lee comes back and carry on that feud maybe for SummerSlam. But for me, Paige isn't losing that championship for a very long time. She's one of the few top talents they have in the Divas division. She's one of the few stars that actually has depth to her character. So keep her with the title. She doesn't need to lose any momentum at the moment. Keep her with the Divas Championship. Tamina is one of the can you really think of a diva which could really knock off the championship from Paige? I can't, and Tamina would be one of those people who would be right at the bottom of the list for me, who would defeat Paige for that Divas Championship. For me, she's probably going to keep that Divas Championship for a very long time, maybe even as long as AJ Lee, but Tamina isn't going to be the one to defeat Paige, considering it is her first title defense. Now, the next match we could talk about would be what have we got? We've got Bray Wyatt against John Cena. Easy prediction to make here. It would be for Bray Wyatt to pick up the victory. It was a huge surprise for John Cena to win it at WrestleMania 30. So why would you give him the win at Extreme Rules when I always thought Bray Wyatt was walking out of WrestleMania 30 as the winner. Everybody thought he was the one that was going to walk out of WrestleMania 30 as the winner. They've set up this match at Extreme Rules 2014, probably to give Bray Wyatt that much needed win he should have got at WrestleMania 30. It was a big ask to give Bray Wyatt the win at WrestleMania 30, considering there were a lot of Cena fans in that building. A lot of Cena fans, a lot of kids, went to New Orleans to watch John Cena win. If he lost against Bray Wyatt, a lot of fans would have been very, very disappointed in New Orleans that John Cena didn't win. It was the grandest stage of them all. Could they really give Cena the loss? The guy who's the most top babyface in the company in the last 10 years. Were they really going to give him the loss at WrestleMania 30 against Bray Wyatt, who really isn't main event material yet? Were they going to do that? Were they going to make Cena lose? That would have actually been his, would have been his fourth pay-per-view loss in a row for John Cena. He lost at Extreme Rules. Not Extreme Rules. He lost at Elimination Chamber. He lost at the Rumble. He lost at TLC. They weren't going to give him his fourth pay-per-view loss in a row at WrestleMania 30. The story behind this match is Bray Wyatt gets his redemption. Bray Wyatt gets his win back at Extreme Rules 2014. It's going to be a great match inside the cage, but Bray Wyatt is definitely winning this match because really, there's a lot more in this feud. I think they could carry this all the way up until Payback. So for me, the heels got to win this match to carry on this feud up until Payback 2014. If Cena was going to win, it would shut off Bray Wyatt forever. You wouldn't see a Bray Wyatt versus Cena match maybe ever if Cena was going to win here. There's definitely more in this feud, so if Bray Wyatt wins, it opens the door to yet another match between Bray Wyatt and John Cena at Payback, and I'd definitely be game to see that match. Very surprised Bray Wyatt didn't win at WrestleMania, so this is where he's going to pick up the win against John Cena. And that's really where the story goes. Bray Wyatt has picked up the C Nation. He's got the C Nation kind of in his hands. He's controlling John Cena. He's controlling his fans. So to carry on the storyline, Bray Wyatt's got to win. He's got to look like he's picking up some momentum in this feud. He's carrying John Cena. So really, if John Cena was going to win here, it would just seem like Bray Wyatt's plan had failed. If Bray Wyatt wins here, it just cements in people's minds that Bray Wyatt really is the next real deal. He's doing what he set out to do, to get inside John Cena's mind, take away his legacy, get the C Nation behind him. So if Bray Wyatt won, it would be great to carry on that storyline. Bray Wyatt could do so much with this win against John Cena. I could see them carrying it all the way up until Payback. So for me, Bray Wyatt, the heel, the new top star. He's really the only guy I honestly think he's the guy that has the most depth out of any character in the WWE currently. So really, it'd be great for him to get a win. He needs to win. He's an upcoming star. He's a new talent. He's a fresh new talent. Cena should put over Bray Wyatt here. He's a very special character, Bray Wyatt. He's going to be around in the WWE for many, many years to come. And a win over Cena would do wonders for Bray Wyatt. So that's my prediction. Bray Wyatt to pick up the win. The next match is Kane against Daniel Bryan. Now, Kane and Daniel Bryan is a bit of a strange match. It really wasn't the match we were expecting to see at the Extreme Rules 2014 pay-per-view. It could have been Triple H against Daniel Bryan. It could have been Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan. It could have been Batista and Daniel Bryan. Or it could have been Triple H versus Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton versus Batista. But Kane, was he really the pick to face Daniel Bryan at Extreme Rules 2014? Honestly, isn't a feud I can really get behind. So for me, Daniel Bryan is going to win in the main event of Extreme Rules. Now, I say main event. I don't know if this is going to be the main event of Extreme Rules 2014. I think it'd be a huge shame if Daniel Bryan wasn't going to main event his first pay-per-view as the champion. If the Shield and the Evolution was going to go after this match, it'd be a huge shame for Daniel Bryan because he's the champion. He's the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He has 2 belts. If he wasn't going to main event at least his first pay-per-view match, and he wasn't in the main event, would be a huge shame. And I think it definitely degrades the championships if it's not in the main event of any pay-per-view. I honestly think that the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, now that it is the only one world championship, should be in the main event of every pay-per-view. Now, honestly, that's not going to go all that way, but you honestly should be maybe making your 10 out of the 12 pay-per-views in a year as the main event, because that is your one championship. I mean, maybe even the 12 out of the 12 main events, maybe the 12 out of the 12 pay-per-views you have in your year should be main evented with that championship, because that's the number one world championship. So for me, this should be the main event of Extreme Rules. It would be a huge shame if Daniel Bryan wasn't going to main event his first pay-per-view match, but really, are people going to be into a main event with Daniel Bryan against Kane? It feels like they've just kind of thrown a 2-week match together for Daniel Bryan. I mean, he's only been on the last 2 Monday Night Raws, and it kind of feels like we don't really have time to build a decent match. Can we just throw Kane in there to make up his first title defense at a pay-per-view? It's not a match we can get behind. We've seen it all before. It doesn't feel like a WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Kane really doesn't deserve this match whatsoever. I don't really think anybody's caught on to that. He really doesn't deserve this match. What's he done to deserve this match? He really hasn't done anything. I mean, Batista deserves this match more than Kane. So it's really not a match we can get behind. I mean, I know they've put over Kane as this top heel. They've really built him well into this match, but still, is it a match we really want to see? Is it really? But for me, Daniel Bryan is never losing them titles against Kane. Kane will look an absolute freaking badass if he had them titles around him, but Kane, he's a dead character. They've tried to re-energize him by bringing him back with the mask, but really, is he going to be winning them WWE World Heavyweight Championships ever again? No. No! 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 Daniel Bryan is never losing them titles, especially in his first main event, in his first title defense. Never in a million years. We've waited so long as fans for Daniel Bryan to pick up that championship. So no way is he losing it in his first title defense. Daniel Bryan is walking away out of Extreme Rules as your champion. Kane just doesn't make sense to be that champion. Can you really make a feud between Daniel Bryan and Kane for the championships? Because he doesn't even belong in this match. Can you carry on a feud even more between these two? No way. We don't want to see it. First off, do we want to see a feud carried all the way up until Payback? Does Kane even deserve these titles? It just doesn't make sense for Kane to be in this match. Daniel Bryan is walking away with their WWE World Heavyweight Championships. A lot of fans are still behind Daniel Bryan, of course, so they would be very dissatisfied with the main event if it is the main event for Daniel Bryan to lose in his first pay-per-view match. Daniel Bryan all the way. Yes, yes, yes. And in the last match, you have got the Shield against Evolution. Now, whether the Shield do break up here is another question, but I do see Evolution picking up the win here. It wouldn't make sense for Evolution to re-energize themselves, bring themselves back in them 3 weeks between that Monday Night Raw 3 weeks ago for Extreme Rules, for them to go into their Extreme Rules match and lose. We've waited for 10 years. This was kind of, I remember the first Raw I watched was Evolution turning on themselves. I remember them beating up Randy Orton when he won that World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. That was the first Raw I ever watched all the way back in 2003, I believe it was. 2004? Was it 2004? 2003? I think it was 2004. Yeah, it was 2004. I've got the DVD. So that was when I first watched WWE. And I've waited 10 years for Evolution to come back. I want to see Evolution in their prime, because I never got to see that. And they've built themselves up as Evolution after 10 years in this 3 weeks. Would they bother building them up, bringing them back after 10 years for them to lose in their first match? Maybe they brought Batista back to bring back Evolution. It would all seem pointless if they were just going to lose in their first pay-per-view match. Why bring back Evolution if they're just going to lose? It would just seem pointless. Why bring back, the faction which pretty much ran the WWE from 2002 to 2004? They ran Raw for a very, very long time. Now, it would put over the Shield very, very well, but are they really going to go into Extreme Rules and lose? I can't see it in a million years. Is Triple H gonna book his friends Batista and Randy Orton to lose again. I mean, Randy Orton lost at WrestleMania 30. He lost a hell of a lot of momentum. Batista tapped in the middle of the ring to Daniel Bryan, lost a lot of momentum. Triple H lost to Daniel Bryan in the opening match of WrestleMania 30 and was pretty much ended. He pretty much, in the main event of WrestleMania 30, was taken out by Daniel Bryan. On the Raw after, was speared by Roman Reigns and taken out. These guys have been, well, they've lost a lot of momentum. I'm not going to use the word buried because it gets overused so much, but they've lost a lot of momentum since, well, at WrestleMania 30. So this should be the match where they gain it back. Some much needed heel heat for Randy Orton, Batista, and Triple H. The Shield are over. They're fine. They're looking tremendous. But these guys, Triple H, Batista, and Randy Orton, need some more heel heat. They struggle to get over on their own. Batista and Randy Orton struggle to get over on their own. But as Evolution, they can do absolute wonders. Now, Triple H was over already. He had a hell of a lot of heat. But Batista and Randy Orton, they didn't have a lot of heat whatsoever. But as Evolution, they're going to do some fantastic wonders. And if they win on Sunday, they're going to get a lot of heat and cement themselves as maybe the top 3 heels in the company. If they lose, bringing back Evolution would seem like a waste of time, and Randy Orton and Batista especially would lose even more momentum. I think Triple H is okay, just Randy Orton and Batista really need a win, and I'm not gonna lie. The Shield, they're doing fine. They squashed Kane and the New Age Outlaws at WrestleMania 30. They've been built very, very strong into this match, and they look very, very fantastic going into this match. If they lose, it won't be too much of a shame, but I definitely think it would be a very, very big shame if Evolution were going to bring back themselves and lose in their first pay-per-view match. And I also think there's a lot more to go in this feud. They can go a very, very long way. It was rumoured Reigns would face Triple H at SummerSlam, so you've got to keep this feud going if you want to carry that on. If Evolution were going to lose, the babyfaces would win, and the feud would pretty much be ended. If the heels win, you can carry on the feud, carry it all the way up until SummerSlam. I don't care. There's a lot of juice in this feud, and they can carry it along a long way. But for me, Evolution, bringing themselves back, they've got to win the match. The Shield are okay. You've got the United States Champion Dean Ambrose. Reigns is looking as hot as ever, and Seth Rollins is looking fantastic as well. Evolution need to win a lot more than the Shield. Could the Shield break up? Will that maybe be why the Shield lose? Could they break up? I'm not sure, guys. They're still kind of getting over his faces. They're nearly fully over. They're very, very over already, but they're not quite there yet. I'm not sure if the Shield to break up would happen at Extreme Rules. Do you expect it to happen? I don't expect it to happen, so maybe it will happen. I don't know, but I think Evolution are going to win. So I'm going to go down my predictions once and for all. El Torito to win. Evolution to win. Daniel Bryan to win. Rusev to win. Cesaro to win. Wade Barrett to win. Bad News Barrett to win. Bray Wyatt to win. And Paige to win. Is that all the predictions? I believe that's all my predictions. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have in fact enjoyed this video. Take care, spike your hair. 200 likes. Can we do it? Goodbye. Whew.